Because they know that the aliens who is to come is us. That's why every now and then something spiritual happens. How in the hell can some motherfuckers from down Bankhead make a video about your mama and your sister too, riding down the street on Bose, rolling up, slamming Cadillac doors? What's the name of the group? Outcast. And the white man looking in binoculars and he's seeing aliens, but yet they are black people. And when they get to the pyramids, their eyes turn green. Because the aliens who to come is us. There's terrestrial and extraterrestrial. Terrestrial means earthbound, a product of Earth. Extraterrestrial means beyond Earth, which is the Nephilim, which is the book Breaking the God Spell. You got any more of those still? Breaking the God Spell. In this particular part by Neil Freer. Then who the fuck are the aliens? That's us. We are the aliens because extraterrestrial means beyond the Earth. And they don't understand that ye are gods. Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? John chapter 10, verse 34, 37. And the scriptures cannot be broken. You see? We fell into the physical realm, and we were the gods of the prior universe. In that same Revelations, it tells you that the ones that will be raised up were slain before the foundation of the earth. Then I gave you these several stories about the Titans that was overthink, and I told you that Tiamat was overthrown. Well, in that same Bible, Revelations, it said those who were slain at the foundation of the earth. That revelation piece came out of Kemet. When Cambyses raided Kemet, he took a whole bunch of ancient texts back to Persia. And then the Romans took the Persian version and put it in the back of the Bible. Now, you can get a book called Creation Myths. It's called Creation Myth by Richard Berlin. It's called Creation Myth. And in that book, they got the Persian apocalypse. They got a whole bunch of apocalypse in there. You just think it's one apocalypse. They got the Persian version of the apocalypse, and you could literally see that the shit was damn near carbon copied. In that book, Creation Myth. No, it's not called Creation Myth. It's called, let me see. I got so many. It's not Creation Myth. No, it's not Creation Myth. It's called, it'll come to me in a minute. Damn. I got so many books in my head. Let me see. It's Comparative Myths, something like, it'll come to in a minute. But it's by Richard Berlin, I think the name of it is. It'll come to me in a minute. But in there, there's a Persian apocalypse in that particular book. But they say the ones that's supposed to be raised up is the ones that were slain before the creation of the earth. Now, going back to this, the God of the living is this matrix God called Maya in India. It's called illusion. In Gnosticism, it's got several names. It's called Adalabra. This is a God, or it's called the holographic universe. The world you live in don't exist. It's a series of events that never existed. I'll explain that. Unheard knowledge is dangerous to virgin ears. So therefore, if there's no such thing as a devil, as you know of, I think you should be over this particular devil thing, and you go into hell, and this whole thing, and some hell up under the earth, and all that kind of thing, and we'll get into the esoteric version of that. How's it going, man? All right. I think at this particular time, the stuff that they are calling satanic and stuff is actually the stuff that they hid of your stuff that they don't want you to know. And we get deeper into some things, I'll deal with that. But only thing I'm trying to say is, for stuff that seems spooky, we need to be adults at this particular time and quit being spooked out about the spiritual world when we know we got this beast in the physical world that you work with every damn day. And if you ain't scared of this cracker, how in the hell you going to be scared of the spiritual world? You see what I'm saying? Vodun. Things like that, Yoruba, Vodun, all this stuff is nothing but the science of our science. The white boys know this stuff and all, and now they're spooking you out with the stuff. You see what I'm saying? Anything black magic, it literally means, magic means science, really. So if they say black magic, it means black science. You see what I'm saying? They tell you black magic because they know magic, because they know that you can use that stuff to kick their behind. You see what I'm saying? So this is so we want to get out of dogmatized way of doing things. Your black skin and your nappy hair is uniquely you. Only one on the planet. So that also means that you are not even you cannot even compete with the white girl. Not saying that the white girl's hair is better than yours, because it ain't nothing but fur. You have hair, they have fur. The same if you go and get the doggone any animal. You see, that's fur. So yours is superior for the simple fact you're the only people that's got it. So we're not talking about a form of superiority. What is superior is what's dominant. And since this is the original shit, we can say that this is superior. But that's fur. That's why that same fur emits a oil, just like the animal coat. You see what I'm saying? Every day. You see what I'm saying? But the key, what we're talking about here is this. You can't compete with her because that is her own hairstyle. It might be the animal hairstyle, but it's still uniquely hers. So subconsciously, now here's the black woman, 98% permed up. And here's her in competition because she's now taking herself to the Euros realm or the white realm, and she's in direct competition with the white woman, and she's going to lose that competition because that is the white woman's unique hair, and this is not yours. And that's why your shit's starting to look nasty looking. And then you start saying, you say, man, something about her stink. No, it's because her crown is fucked up. And so the brother subconsciously is now seeing the white woman as a standard of beauty because you're in competition and you getting your ass whipped because that's not your hair. And your shit don't look as good as hers on her animal realm. You see what's going on here? So subconsciously, the brother is desiring that. Number one, now let's get this shit straight. It is the reason why you got the perm in your head in the first goddamn place, because the brother made it clear that he liked the white woman's hair. Now let's get this shit straight. You can monitor the level of a person's race based on the way the woman's head looks. Whether the motherfucker in a veil or whether it's in a goddamn fur veil. Take your goddamn pick. You see? But the key here is you cannot compete with that. So subconsciously, the white woman does look better than the black woman. If you in the animal realm and trying to goddamn go up in the competition with fur that you don't have. You just got to get in your realm. It's just like they said, we never knew how beautiful Nina Simone was until she took the perm out of her head and get the afro in the 70s. And the reason why you was with your woman in mass in the 70s, people that they were talking about in the last days is supposed to save the world and the damn universe is not some damn people someplace in some damn pearly white gate someplace, or it's not some other people in these organizations looking for, it's you all right in this room. It's a few people mainly on the East Coast and then scattered throughout the country in pairs all the way to the West Coast, but mainly it's a few people, that remnant of people that they were talking about in the last days. So how you say, how do I know this? How do I know this is true? I mean, he's saying that, but how do I know this is true? Because as you know, if you monitor everybody else, for the mere fact that you are even sitting up in here on a damn Friday night with some interest in somebody saying anything to you, means in actuality that your spirit is already advanced. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to come here. That's right. You wouldn't be able to come here. I've seen people come in lectures, they come for the wrong reason, they come up in there and they'll rock back and forth a little while and they'll get up and leave. Because it's not for them, for the myth. So you're saying, well, how do I know that I am the spiritual one? Well, first of all, we take the test. How many of you people knew that you were special ever since you was a child? Raise your hand. And every time we know that most people do. So the other point is that you know this particular part based on, again, If you were not at that level, your mind could not even conceive it. You see what I'm saying? That's why the white man now is creating all this other false extraterrestrial to throw the whole world off on who the real ETs are. We are the real extraterrestrials. Terrestrial means what? Earth dweller, earth bound. Then there's extraterrestrial, which means beyond the earth. That's what extraterrestrials mean. Well, our history, if you study ancient Egypt, ancient Hebrew, and we're not talking about fundamental religion from 2,000 years on up. That's just a control thing, a ward of the church, or a ward of a certain culture that want to control a certain amount of people based on moral laws. That has nothing to do with real spirituality. Real ancient scripture, real ancient teaching system, metaphysical systems, or what you call mystery systems, tell you that we once were gods in control of the universe, and then we fell on this plateau. And then while on this plateau, we made the best of it. And the mere fact that the best caved in and fell down was because we inherited it. We got rid of that, or we gave it up so we can go into hibernation or go into the cocoon stage so we can have a metamorphosis as the butterfly, which means we would be reborn into a God greater than the God that we fell from, even in the heavens when we was up there doing our thing, which is higher than this. Say the sisters are not as smart. No, it's just that you are using the mathematical equations and the sister is using the spiritual equations. And the spiritual is more higher. So therefore you have to start breaking down this left brain and going into the right brain. You call it female intuition. No, it's the female spiritual ability that you're supposed to have, but you're not using left brain.